Okay, we're going to look at trig graphs and the sine wave. Graphing the very basic sine wave, a trigonometric function graph. And sine waves are pretty important in science, and they're a big deal. So let's just take a look. Let's get started. In order to understand the sine wave, we're going to start with something called a unit circle. What does that mean? It means it's a circle. You go one in every direction. So one to the right would mean 1 and 0 would be your coordinate here. And that's an angle we're going to call 0 degrees. If I go straight up, it'll be 90 degrees. It'll have an x-coordinate of 0 and a y-coordinate of 1. Over here would be minus 1 and 0. That's 180 degrees. Down here would be an x value of 0 and a y value of minus 1. But if, say, we stopped right here, let's say we stopped at 30 degrees. We measured 30 degrees. That'd be 60 degrees because I come straight down. That's a 90-degree triangle. Let's take a look at what would be going on with 30 degrees. Okay, we could ask our calculator, what's the sine of 30 degrees? And our calculator would tell us, hey, it's 1/2. It's 1/2. That's the sine of 30 degrees. But in this picture, we could do it in a different way. We know that it's opposite over hypotenuse. We set up this triangle to be the hypotenuse to be 1. So that means the sine must be opposite over hypotenuse. But this blue line here is the y value. It's how many I've gone up. And the red line is the x value. So the sine, though, is just y over 1. The sine is just y. The sine of any angle here, the sine of any angle is just y. I wish I'd used theta there instead of x because it's confusing it with this x. But the sine of any angle is just y. Okay, well, that's enough for us to start to graph this thing. Watch this. 0 degrees is the sine of 0 degrees. You could try it on your calculator, is 0. The sine of 90 degrees turns out to be 1. It's whatever the y value is. That's what the sine of this angle here is. The sine of 180 degrees is back to 0. The sine of 270 degrees is the y. Try it on your calculator, sine of 90, and you'll see you'll get these values right here. The sine of 0 is 0. The sine of 90 is 1. The sine of 180 is 0. 270 is minus 1. And 360 is 0. If we graph them, 0 and 0, 90 and 1, 180 and 0, 270 and minus 1, and 360 and 0, if we connect them, it makes a wave, okay? That first one I said, when we put in 30 degrees, the sine of 30 degrees is exactly 1/2. So the y value would be 1/2 there. Let's go back and just take a look at that one there. So if we stop at 30 degrees, that y value must be 1/2 because that's what the sine of 30 degrees is, 1 over 2. This distance here, the x value, has to be root 3 over 2 because that's the cosine. The x value must be root 3 over 2. But we're talking about sine here, so the sine is 1/2 there. You can see it on the graph. If I go to exactly 30 degrees, break 90 into, so that'd be right about there, that goes up to 0.5. You see, that's the sine is 1/2. The sine of 90 is 1. 180 is 0. The sine of 270 is minus 1. And the sine of 360 is 0. These are called turning points, and you have to label them when you sketch the graph. This is the first and most important function for a sine wave. F of x or y equals sine x. And learn it because it's important. Everything flows from this sine wave. Okay.